This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm Gianna, your host as always, and then I have Cathleen Barela with me today. Good friend of mine, met her at a John Cheplick conference back in April, I think, and we stayed connected since. So I'm excited to have you join me today, Kathleen.
Yes, I am so excited to be here.
So let's start with your background, right? Who are you? Where are you from? How did you grow up to be a real estate agent?
Okay, so background, let's see, born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico, currently live in Savannah, Georgia. We have been here for 10 years. I've been a real estate agent for 19 going on 20 years. It started off, honestly, my brother was getting into real estate investment. He was a firefighter, and this is back in 2002, 3, and literally just said, hey, I need a real estate agent that I can trust. They are like effing car salesmen at this point, and I want you to get, I want you to get your license. I was like, okay. And I was 20, 2 young kids. I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but I think I can do it. Sold him his first house, fell in love, and have been doing it ever since. We are now in Savannah. So went from an individual agent, because I was definitely one of the agents that said, no way, no how will I ever let anybody in my chaos, my organized chaos, right? I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. And to involve an assistant or to involve anybody in this, it's such a disaster behind the scenes that I know how to manage that I'm not going to do it. And I'm proud to say that I have the most amazing team now. And we're just loving life and having fun and kicking down doors and taking names. So yeah, it's been really good to develop from so young to now team leader, managing, a whole organization has been phenomenal.
Absolutely. And Kathleen, how were you introduced to EXP? Clearly, it wasn't your first brokerage. So how did this transition go for you? Who introduced it to you? How did you break up with brokers? It's a tough transition.
It is. And my story, everybody has their own individual story. Mine, I feel like, is different because I was happy where I was. We were announced the year that we left as the #1 small team in the state of Georgia. We were just doing so much, and we had the support, and everything was good. And I got to that level, I think, as a woman, as a business owner, that you start to feel alone almost. I started to feel like I didn't have people. I had people in my local market, but I didn't have other people that were doing bigger, better, more things that I could then, expand my brain and keep on moving forward. So my coach at the time was like, we got to find you a tribe. Like, we got to find you some friends. You got to have more than your team and your local people. Start really like being intentional with your relationships and see what you can find and form. So I did exactly that and started getting really intentional with finding big top producers around the country, friending them on Facebook, all of those sorts of things. So needed to find a group of people that just were essentially at the same level, same struggles as myself. So Miss Michelle Humes had posted something, and I didn't know her on any sort of personal level. We just some way, somehow were connected on Facebook. Either I connected with her or vice versa. But she put up a simple post essentially saying that she was looking for like-minded business women, entrepreneurs that just wanted to find a group of like people.
Mhm.
So I did the little emoji with my hand raised, didn't think much to it. And then she, several days later sent a message saying, tell us about you. We're looking to, it grew really quickly. Like within 48 hours, somebody had connected with her. And then it turned out to be all these women from across the country were essentially looking for the same thing. We didn't know what we were looking for. We just knew that there was someone that said, help, I need friends. And we said, we do too. And then that was really it. It was convenient because it was near me. It was about an hour and a half drive. It was at a beach house in Jekyll Island. So I know no one. I was almost going to cancel going because I felt silly going. It was like, oh, I'm going to be sleeping with these people and stuck with them for the weekend. What if, your mind starts
What if you
playing.
get serial killed?
I know. I was like, I don't even know this person. So, and I didn't research it at all. All she essentially said was that she wanted people that were kind of a certain production, essentially, that were serious about their business, and asked me to speak on something. Just kept it very open. Just said something that, in business you want to share. It could be anything. It could be culture. It could be team building. It could be, lead generation, just something that you're passionate about. So I picked team culture. And that's all I knew. I didn't really prepare anything. I didn't prepare slideshows. Show up and it's like powerhouse women like Veronica Figueroa, Nikki Klein. Yeah, like ridiculous. Okay. So, and still, I don't know who these people are. It's not like they announced who they were, who they worked with. I just knew that they were, for the most part, real estate agents, and they traveled from all over the place, different parts of the country. So it was a different feel right away, and it was really well put together. And they did the whole nine, where it was really thoughtful and intentional. And it was like, okay, what am I a part of? This is different and special. By the end of the third day, when we were all leaving, we were so bonded. And it was such a vulnerable, safe place that, really safe place. Like there was tears, there was laughter, there was this thing reignited within inside of me that was like, okay, like, you got your team, you got your people now. Now, where are you going? Well, on that last day, we started to really talk about where we were in business. It was more than business. It was all the things business other than units, volume, GCI. What's your team makeup? Who do you work with, right? What company, what brokerage? And then everybody that I connected with, EXP, because there was other brokerages there as well, is the thing. But the people that I really was drawn to were, every single one were EXP. And so I called my husband and I was like, okay, this is super weird because it's not like anything was wrong, but I'm thinking I want to learn more about EXP. In our area, it's not very popular. It's not really well perceived either. There's not a lot of agents, and we all know what some of the challenges are. So it was definitely strange. And within a week, I announced it to our team, and they were all shocked, like jaw dropped, shocked, just couldn't even believe what I was saying. But every single one of them was like, wherever you're going, we're going. And we are a small team, so it's not like I took this herd of people with us,
Right.
but we're solid players in this. You know what I mean? So it was, nothing was wrong. I wasn't looking for anything. And my God, what we have discovered, like I'll tell you, because we've been so busy just keeping pace with everything that I haven't slowed down enough to check my stocks. Yeah. Like tens of thousands of, a lot of money already. And I'm like, what? And I'm just doing my thing. I'm doing the same thing that I always
growing in the background.
Yes. So it's been unbelievable. But yes, so my story was more along the lines of not looking for a different vehicle, not unhappy, none of the normal stuff. It was, I needed deeper conversations. I needed more connection, deeper relationships, and to feel a part of something and to be in a group of people that felt like me. Like, it sounds silly to say it almost felt like I arrived and I was home. Like, these are my people, but we just came back from Build and it was like everybody there were my people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a few, it's everyone I have come across has been absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. No, it's incredible, Kathleen. And the culture here, right? It's more than just that. It's an actual community. And I love your experience. That's actually a really cool way to be introduced to it. And now that you're here, obviously you're killing it. You're in the top 3% of agents with EXP. So, top of the industry, top of the brokerage. So what have you really fallen in love with about EXP that's like end game here, right? Like, what makes you be like, man, I want to retire from this place? Because you touched on stock options, you touched on the collaboration, you touched on, you brought your team over. So there's rev share with that too. So what, keeps you from making the move to a different brokerage?
So when I was in that season of feeling like I needed people to lean on, and I was, intentional about finding those people, I had to really self-reflect and dig deep, because it's almost like every mountain you climb, you just figure out there's another mountain. I remember telling a coach one time, when am I going to feel like I arrived? When am I actually going to feel like I made it? What is it? Because it's like, okay, I remember decades ago, literally, where it was like the 6 figures. Everyone wants to make 6 figures, right? And then you make 6 figures, and then you make 250,000, and then you make $500,000, and then you make $1 million. And then you sell, you want to sell 100 units, then you want to sell 150. Then it's like, okay, when we hit 200, and you keep on climbing those mountains. And I kept taking a step back, like, what is it? What do I want? Like, what do I want most out of life? And it really is to make a big impact and to affect people. And when I'm gone, I want people to say, she helped me. She taught me this. Like, she gave me things that I took to my children, or, she made me feel like I could conquer the world, or whatever it is. Like, to really make people feel like their dreams can come true, regardless of what their background is. Because mine is as dirty and dark as you could imagine, right? So going from that to this and seeing really clearly that it's about making impact on the world and people individually, it really is that I want to we're in the vehicle, EXP is the vehicle, and really talking to agents about the potential of retiring. The passive income, it's not an active income game anymore. It is, but is that something that you can do for the next 10, 20 years? It's about, making good investments. It's about running your business profit first. Mm-hmm. It's about, investing in real estate. If I invested in real estate starting 20 years ago, could you imagine? So taking that painful regret and passing it along to my team members to say, like, part of the game is investing in real estate, getting Airbnbs, getting short-term rentals, getting long-term rentals, whatever that looks like, and really just leveling up the playing field for myself and for everybody that's with me. And everybody I encounter is really the biggest reason why. Because when you look at your, Michael Reese's, your Jay Kinders, your Veronicas, they're making those big waves and that big impact, and they're talking very loudly, which I'm getting better at doing, because it's normally I put my head down and I work. I put my head down and I work and I work and I work. And now it's like, okay, now that I'm looking up, we got a lot to share, and it's a matter of bringing people with us and locking arms with people than it is seeing your name rise to the top, because it's right. You've been there and done that,
I love that. A rising tide raises all ships, right? And I love that you said, link arms and everybody makes it together. And it's just the morale that you're going to find at EXP, really, from everybody that I've had the pleasure of meeting here. Interviewing upwards of 300 icon agents, almost everybody has had the same outlook on that. Mm-hmm. And Kathleen, let's talk work-life balance, right? So you've got kiddos, you've got a husband, you are obviously killing the game at real estate. So you've got a lot of clients, you've got a team, you've got this, you've got that, commitments and everything else in between. So how do you draw the line between work and play? How do you take care of Kathleen and make sure you're feeding back into your people and you're recharged and you're not verging burnout mode?
Yeah. Yep. And I've been there. I've been there. I remember I drew the line in the sand when I kept starting every conversation with, I am so sorry. Thank you for being so patient for me getting back to you. Or I would say something like, I know that 20 minutes turned into a day. I'm so sorry, because I was always feeling behind. I always felt like I was behind, and I had so many plates that were spinning, and I was just struggling, just trying to get to each of them before they broke. And when I started recognizing that it was almost a script, that I was picking up the phone and saying this, it was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to feel like I'm constantly chasing my life and late to everything and just so overwhelmed. I'm not doing it anymore. And it was more of a mindset than it was an actual adjustment. I don't have like this perfect time blocking strategy or, any of the sorts. It was more of being fiercely protective, which I share with my team all the time. Be fiercely protective of your time and recognize when you're spending it on that, you can't spend it on that. And then you make the decision on what the priority is. And I really do, it's painful to say, but I really do encourage my team more than most, I'll say that, to get off the phone, disconnect, take the weekend off, be present with their kid. If they're with their kids or their significant others or whatever, it's like, good, take your time. The reason that I do that is because I didn't. And I opened my eyes one day, and I have a senior in high school, and it was like, wow, because everybody wants to get into real estate for what? To have more time, to make their own schedule, and to be there for their family. And everybody that gets into real estate gets addicted really quickly. They have the time, they're not present with their family, and they miss everything, or they're late for everything. So, it was a lot to get to the point to say, you know what? I'm going to structure my morning the way that I want. I'm going to start my day when I want. I'm going to set the expectation with my clients that these are the times that I work, or these are the days that I'm off. And, it's beautiful, years passing, that clients will actually say, thank you so much for answering the phone on a Sunday. They thank me for being there, where before I felt that like urgent panic mode that I had to be on at all points in time. I mean, I still am for the most part, but there's just an ease about me that's more natural, and a reciprocated respect on their time and my time. And that's announced out the gate. And so it's more of a presence about you, and it's more within than it is having some sort of, notebook that you just follow along or whatever. It really is just becoming of sorts, and knowing I can manage this. I'm saying no to a lot of things and saying yes to the things that are in alignment to the direction that I'm going. And it was just drawing the line in the sand and recognizing I can't make everybody happy, and I'm not going to. And this is what my life is going to look like now. And it was dumping a bunch of stuff that didn't make sense for me to participate in anymore.
Absolutely. No, I love the boundaries that you set there, and the self-realization, right? And that you are kind of protecting your people from doing the same thing and making those same mistakes. And Kathleen, have you ever leveraged out any tasks? Obviously, you've gotten to a point in your business where it's scaled up to an insane amount. So, did you make outside hires? Did you get stuff off your plate? What were some of those first hires you made and first tasks you bid goodbye to help you start to scale up?
It's hysterical, because I was saying in the beginning, the organized chaos, the chaos that made sense to me, right? The sticky notes everywhere, the napkins with numbers, the stuff. I knew where my stuff was. And I was almost embarrassed to invite anybody into my world to say, this is a hot mess express. but it's my Hot Mess Express, and it's working because as an individual agent, I would sell 50 plus houses. And so my first hire was actually a client, Miss Brittany Wham. She's our director of operations, and she came with experience from a real estate team. So I helped her build her house. We just had a really good rapport and a really good relationship. And she asked me, "Are you hiring?" And I was like, "Absolutely not." No, actually, I'm not. And then I kind of took a step back and I'm like, I think I need help. I think I can use her. So let's just announce to her that my world is fast paced. I'm very direct, and I don't have time for annoying questions, and I need you to be resourceful and figure it out until you can't figure it out. And I just kind of was direct with her like that. Like, hey, okay, I do need help. Let's try this. This is what my world looks like. I need you to help organize it. I don't need you to be another responsibility or someone that I need to chase down or manage. I need you to manage yourself and help me get organized. And she did. And she changed my entire world, absolutely changed my entire world. Everything is so structured. We have systems for everything. There's accountability across the board. And then we hired a buyer's agent, which I'm proud to announce was from the previous company, the highest paid buyer's agent in the history of that market center.
Wow.
Yes. So she did very well. And it was great to engage with her, kind of same routine where it was like, observe me and what I do. And then I'm going to watch you do it. And then go swim, little fishy. You know what I mean? Like, let's work well independently and then have the same direction. And then we hired another client, and this is a funny one. Her name is Anna. And Anna was the one client that we all get annoyed by because she tries to do your job, right? Like, she would call people before we would even call people, if that makes sense. Like, she would want to know the answer. So she would call, she was a seller and she was calling the lender, calling the processor, the seller. And it's like, slow down, sister. Like, you gotta like stay in your lane. Like, I was like, come on. And I adored her, absolutely adored her. But I was like, man, I've never had a client that was like on top of it before even me. And then the light bulb went off and was like, okay, she has some talent. What if you pull her on the team and teach her everything? So
that's better.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. I was like, hey, listen, do you want to take this personality assessment? I'm thinking that you may be really good with us. I love the way that you're organized. And so she was the next hire. And then another buyer's agent, our current buyer's agent. We have two. One of them is brand new and she's doing phenomenal. The other one has been with us now going on 2 years. This past 12 months, she's sold 71 homes as a buyer's agent. Yeah. So she's doing phenomenal. And then we, of course, have our virtual assistant. And he is phenomenal, and he helps the girls behind the scenes, making certain that when they're out doing whatever they're doing, whether that's something personal and a doctor's appointment, or whether that's they need help with a certain project, or we need him to manage files, or whatever that is, we have somebody that is behind a computer at all points in time that anybody can lean on to do anything. So yes, we have definitely leveraged and grown. And it's been amazing to see that when you bring on, it's not adding people and problems to the already chaotic life of a real estate agent. It's finding people that are able to thrive in an independent atmosphere, that they know the end goal and they have the same work ethic and determination as you do. So it's not adding people means that you're managing them. It's literally adding people, and the who's change your life completely and allow you freedom to do either what you love or do more of what you're doing already. So yes, adding people and having a larger team shouldn't add stress. It should take it away. And that is 100% what has happened with our team.
And it seems scary, you're spending money, but in that way, you're so much more intentional with that position as well. And it helps you that much more. And so, Kathleen, let's talk all things Icon now. So in your market, what does that average housing price look like? How many homes do you have to sell to be able to cap?
Okay, so our average sell price right now is $275. For us to cap, it's about right about 2 million. Now, when I first joined, I was thinking that you just needed to cap in sales. I didn't recognize that you also needed to cap the 5,000 fee. So it was a little bit of a transition where it was like, yes, we're done. No, we're not. Hurry up. You know what I mean? Where it was like, okay, we got to keep going. But I capped in just a few short months and became an Icon agent. I want to say it was about 5 months in, somewhere around that ballpark. So that was exciting because, again, I'm one of those agents that I put my head down and I work. And then when I look up and I read my email and it's like, you've capped, you're an Icon. It was like, oh, this is awesome. Because I didn't join it for those things. I joined it for an opposite, more relationship driven culture, camaraderie. Is why I joined. So all of the extra money benefits has just been icing on the cake.
Absolutely. And the fact that it multiplies.
Say that again.
And the fact that it multiplies in the background.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I was like, this is just, it doesn't make sense not to jump on board for any one reason. It just really doesn't. Like mathematically, it doesn't, as far as the money's concerned. As far as the education's concerned, as far as, the relationships and really having those strong agents that come from the same mindset of, hey, rip it off and duplicate. I hear it all the time. It's like, huh? Yeah, take it. I don't care. Have it. There's no competition. We're all doing this together. So it's been beautiful.
I love that. And, Kathleen, there is also the cultural commitment part of being an Icon agent, right? So mentorship, teaching, coaching, being on Icon panels, vetting other icons. What is your cultural commitment and why do you go down that path? Why do you choose that as your cultural commitment?
Yes. So this is definitely something new. With the previous company that we were with, I was very involved on different panels in leadership. So with having a cloud-based brokerage, you do have to kind of land on your feet and say, okay, how am I going to contribute? Because, kind of practicing what I preach, if I want the camaraderie and knowing that I receive when I give and my focus is to have a big impact, it was definitely teaching. So yes, mentoring. We actually just packaged what we're going to do as far as classes. So our focus is, because we're very military driven, we're right in between two military posts in Savannah. So Hunter Army Airfield and Fort Stewart, we have tens of thousands of soldiers that come in and out. And with that, we have so many sight unseen. There was a year where about 50% of our transactions was military sight unseen. Wow. These people never saw their house until we would install a lockbox and they would go to their house and already own it before they physically saw it.
Wow.
About 50% of our transactions was exactly that. So the classes that we're going to be teaching or that I'm going to be teaching revolves around sight unseen properties. And I'm super excited about that because if you think back when COVID first started and people couldn't see properties and the world just changed, my phone was blowing up with agents calling saying, okay, how do you do this? I used to think that this was impossible. And I had no idea why anyone in their right mind would buy a house that they never saw. I used to steer them against that. And now they can't fly here. So what do you do? And it's like, okay, I'll show you. Because it's really not, so long as you're an honest person, you're doing your job, you're guiding them correctly, there is no reason that a person other than their limited belief can't buy a house remotely. So I'm excited to help people with that and recognize that first off, it's a mindset that you have to get over yourself and your personal beliefs. And then it's a process. And I'm excited to share that with people because it's not as difficult as people think it is.
Absolutely. And Kathleen, a lot of benefits come with being an Icon agent. We've touched on the stock options that you get. So that cap back in stock, the opportunity to go to EXP Con and shareholders, it's really an elite status too. So the doors that it unlocks for the rooms for you to be in and surround yourself and, big glass shiny trophies. So what's your favorite part about being an Icon agent? Why are you setting that as a standard for yourself year after year?
I think the biggest thing is proximity is power and getting in those rooms and really hearing, because every single time I have conversations with these people, we're like-minded in the sense of coming from a place of contribution and pouring into people. And it's about relationships and all of those things. But hearing what they've done with the same 24 hours that I have is just mind blowing. And it really is by embracing other people and allowing them to help and really understanding what that looks like when I hear their stories or I engage with them and I see things in them that are like me, it really helps me to understand that I can level up and become more. So it really is getting in the rooms more than anything else.
Absolutely. No, it's an incredible benefit to the status that you achieve here at EXP. And Kathleen, for people that are on the outside looking in, maybe they just came over to EXP, maybe they're a top producing agent or a rookie, and they have their sights set on the Icon Award, right? Their first year with EXP. Is that possible for them to achieve? What are some daily goals they need to set out on or major mistakes to avoid in order to accomplish that?
Yeah, 100%. I think in any brokerage, regardless of what the brokerage is, there's always going to be this threshold that you want to cross over. So if it's capping and getting 100% commission, or with us, it's iconing, undoubtedly anybody can do it, especially with all of the tools that we have here at EXP and really pouring into absorbing what the leadership has given us and what they have packaged, knowing that anyone can call my cell phone and say, hey, I saw this podcast, or hey, I saw your class, or whatever that looks like. It's like we're all doing this together. And it really is just setting your sights on I always call it reverse engineering. So if you know you have to sell X amount of houses within X amount of time or whatever their goals are, just reverse engineer that into, okay, what does that mean to me monthly? Okay, what activities do I need to do weekly? Okay, what does that mean to me daily as far as dials or conversations or connections or whatnot? And when you really focus it, when you boil it down into simplest form that you can actually do, and you say, okay, it's really like 5 text messages, 5 conversations, going, whatever it is, whatever that number is and what it boils down to, it's nothing overwhelming. It never is. The end goal seems so huge. That mountain that you have to climb seems so intimidating. But once you start climbing, you actually recognize, okay, this isn't that difficult. This wasn't that scary. I can do this. This is okay. So it's just boiling it down to, what do I have to get really disciplined doing daily? Mm-hmm. How do I make the best use of that time? Our income producing activities, what do those look like? If I could give any advice ever, like from the beginning, if you're starting out, or I know people, I've taken people out to lunch and I've had conversations with colleagues that are phenomenal and they're doing wonderful. And they want to, ask questions on how we've built our business, because essentially it's all referral based, which is beautiful because we don't have to pay, our database is our data bank. And when I share that with them, it's mind blowing to them. And I was there once. It's mind blowing to them because they don't have all their people in one bucket. Mm-hmm. Everybody is everywhere, and they're not consistently communicating with their database, and they're not having client events, and they're not sending out newsletters, and they're not calling them or texting them on a routine basis. They become, unfortunately, one of the agents that the NAR statistic. What is it? That any person that had a transaction with their agent thought they did a good job, and 86% would say that they would use them again. 2, 3, 5 years passes, And it's like 13% gets used a second time. Well, it's because they didn't communicate to them. So we've really crafted a way to make certain that we're staying in front of those people, but backing up and boiling it down to how to really create a business, an actual real estate business. It's having your database and knowing that they give you everything that you need. So that is the biggest thing that I would encourage people is have all of your people in one spot, all of their contact information, and you can 100% get, if it's a one for one, you know that you have one person in there and they can refer you one person and you just multiply that, you can build a big business.
I love that. No, that's incredible advice, Kathleen. And if you guys have questions about this stuff, reach out. That's the best part about EXP. Whether you're with us or not, ask your questions, pick our icons' brains. And Kathleen, were you ever skeptical of EXP when you were first introduced to it?
100%. Absolutely.
What was your thought process? Like, what you heard of EXP and you're like, what?
I didn't know anything about it. They were like the new kids on the block, right? It was like they were the new kids on the block. I didn't really know anything about it. It was kind of like, okay, cloud-based, what? I don't understand. At that point in time, I had an office. We get so traditional and we get so used to the norm. It's like, if you ask me right now, when is the last time I went into a store? I have no idea. I don't go to stores. You know what I mean? I order everything. Like
that's pickup for me.
There you go. It's like, I don't really enjoy shopping. I don't need to see or feel anything. So when they introduced online shopping, it was like, no, I need to see it. I need to smell it. I need to sit on it, whatever. Right. Sure. And now it's like, no, you order everything from online. So I came from a traditional mindset of, I need my office. I need these things. So it was so foreign to hear about this cloud-based brokerage that I pushed it far away. I never even researched it. I never wanted to know about it. I didn't care about it. I was not attracted to it by any means. And then what was interesting is COVID. And the first thing that I did to cut expenses was get rid of the office.
Yeah.
So then when that happened, I still wasn't attracted to it. Nobody called me or anything like that. The agents that were there, they weren't necessarily experienced agents. There was nobody really recognizable. And then as I was introduced to the people, not necessarily the package of what EXP is, the people that were joining and who they were attracting, that's what got my attention. And then I started seeing just different announcements, still didn't look into it, went to the retreat for that weekend. And oh, you bet your bottom dollar, I was researching it like nobody's business. And it was a struggle for me to really understand the concept because it seems too good to be true, right? It's like, there's no way. Like, what's the catch? What's the catch? What am I missing? We compared, if we did the numbers last year and we were here and we go there, what does it look like? It's like how your brain can't compute it. Your brain is like, there's no way. What are we missing? There's something, right? No, there's nothing. There's no catch. It legitimately is phenomenal. We are all owners in this. We could build this as large as we want. There's so many different directions. What I love the most is the authenticity and the fact that each person has so much to bring to the table and they're going to attract their people that they want to do business with. And I'm going to attract my people that I want to do business with. And there is more than enough. And I think it's just so beautiful that everybody can do their own spin. They're sharing and they're collaborating. And yeah, I mean, it has been, a roller coaster that has been so much fun. And I don't mean roller coaster as up and downs. I mean, just like as an adult, letting your hair down and having fun, having deep conversations and just getting really real with what real estate is and knowing that we come with a ton of people that have a little bit or a lot of experience, but each person is valuable. And I mean, I think it's just absolutely amazing.
Absolutely, Kathleen. I love that. And so for anybody watching right now that's looking at making the switch to EXP and they're skeptical and it's a pyramid scheme, it's a cult, all those terrible things that other brokerages have to say about us, what is something you would say to them to assure them, hey, making the move over here is the right call, just do it?
Yeah, it's what is the right thing to say to them? I would say that I think we've all been there, right? We've all felt what that is. And we've all held ourselves back for whatever reason. I would say do the research on your own. I would say talk to whomever and ever many people you need to talk to realize that what we're saying is the truth, and it is a different energy and a different vibe, and there isn't anything to fear, and there isn't any weird wizard behind the curtain. It isn't a cult. It isn't anything of the sort. It's purely a different vehicle to recognize that you have ownership in it. And you want to cheer on anyone and everyone that's on the same team, because the bigger that we make this, the more profitable it is. And really, it's this good feeling, good vibe of, we don't want this to be for everybody. This may not be for everybody. This may not be for the person listening to this right now. However, if anything has resonated with you and wanting that camaraderie and wanting that growth and wanting to be able to expand your mind, where you're like, what's the quote where it says, make your goals or your dreams so big that they scare small-minded people?
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is, because the conversations that I have with people, they're hysterical. When we're talking to people that are like moving to other countries to save on their taxes, and they live in these like crazy multi-million-dollar properties, and real estate almost becomes a monopoly game. It's like, wait a minute, what? I want to play. You know what I mean? It's like, I could do that. I want to play. Like, let me tell you this. If I want to learn about stocks, if I want to learn about Airbnbs, it doesn't matter what it is. If I want to learn about different businesses, I have fellow EXP agents that own, oh my goodness, they own cleaning companies, they're builders, they own gyms, they own restaurants, they own all these different facets of things. It's not just about real estate. It's really living a big life in its truest fashion, and knowing that you have so many valuable people that you can lean on in any capacity. And it's just great. So there doesn't have to be skepticism. If there is, research it more, talk to more people, and find out that the grass, I believe, is actually greener. And you can work harder on that end, and it's just more fruitful.
Absolutely. And if you guys have questions, make sure to reach out to Kathleen. Super excited to field questions about this. Great relationships at EXP, and you've got to start somewhere, even if you just need a friend in the industry. This is an awesome person to start with. So reach out to Kathleen. And Kathleen, it's been an awesome episode. Is there anything you want to leave the listeners with as we wrap it up today?
Well, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I am just so excited to be here. And I think that this is definitely the way of the world. And if you're even considering it, remotely consider it, just dive in a little bit deeper, see that there's so much opportunity. And we always say, and I've heard it over and over and over, that you don't hear about real estate agents retiring because we're always so active and in the business. I want to retire one day, and this is my vehicle that is going to help me do that. And the wealth of knowledge that is being poured into me right now is just absolutely amazing. And I would say to open your eyes, ears, and your heart to the opportunity, because it is phenomenal.
I love that. A great note to wrap up on. Kathleen, thank you so much for your time today. I'll see you at EXPCon.
Yes, absolutely. I will be there.
Awesome. Can't wait to reconnect with you, Kathleen. And awesome episode today.
Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.